Welcome to Fish Talk Hunt Radio with John Hennigan, where we're going to cast and blast you right out of this world with some of the best hunting and fishing stories that you can't even imagine.
Welcome to Fish Hunt Talk Radio. This is John Hennigan in the studio and with our host Frank Selby. Always such a pleasure to get Frank on. He's got... Man, I'll tell you what, this guy has done everything, been everywhere, and knows everybody. But, anyway, Frank, still think that 2019 is going to be our year.
I hope so.
And we are starting to get some more and more listeners on Sirius XM because, you know, people have to know we're there, so we're letting them know. So if you have the opportunity, we're on Saturday mornings at 9. For the first time, Frank, I listened to the show because you got to sign up for it to get it, of course.
Yeah.
And they actually started at 9:15. But boy, they crammed the commercials in. But we're still very glad that they've decided to partner up with us, and we really appreciate it. It certainly extends our audience.
That's what we work so hard to do, isn't it, John?
Well, and it's working. You know what? You know, we're on 40 broadcast stations. We're on virtually all of the major, if not most of the minor, digital outlets. You know, iHeart, TuneIn, iTunes, and Stitcher, and all of those. So there's no excuse for not listening to us. And of course, I think the best way to do it is just go to our website, and that's Fish Hunt Talk Radio. .com, or you can just go to Fish Talk Radio still, fishtalkradio.com, and listen to it as many times as you want, because we got some good information. A lot of times it's good to kind of peruse through, and our engineer Mark does a show description, so you can take a look at it and go, that sounds interesting, let's do that. Today we've got some very interesting people coming up, but first I have to give a shout out. One of people said, hey, you know, just mention this on the air and we'll send you a bunch of flowers. So I said, okay. And I went to their website. It's incredible. It's like, think a bouquet, only it's BOUQS, Bokes.com, because you still got time for Valentine's. And we'll maybe mention that again. Frank, we'll be right back with you in just a couple of minutes, so stay tuned.
A few years ago, a sailor set out to design a boat shoe that was comfortable and stable, non-skid, and wouldn't mark the decks. Today, these incredibly comfortable shoes are worn by anglers, boaters, professional guides, and charter captains. Go to softscience.com to see more. Soft Science shoes and boots are lightweight and shock absorbent with just the right level of support. Several styles come in all sizes. Enjoy the Soft Science shoe in the water and out. Check them out at softscience.com.
It's time for you to take a real fun adventure. Join a hosted fishing adventure to Alaska or Baja with the staff of Fish Talk Radio. Real Fun Adventures can book you on any adventure you desire. Bring your fishing friends or meet new ones. Fish Talk Radio gets the best deals from our sponsors to give you the best possible price. Real Fun trips are inclusive, easy, no-worry packages to the most popular fish grounds. Trips start around $600. Go to REELfunadventures.com.
If you are still using a plastic hard-shell cooler, things have changed for the better. AO coolers are lighter with twice the efficiency of the traditional bulky coolers. AO coolers are the best available soft-sided cooler with 3/4-inch high-density closed-cell foam insulation. They will keep ice frozen for 24 hours in hot weather. Easy to carry, less space, it fits product inside for better performance. Go to AOcoolers.com to order or find a retailer. Available at West Marine.
With a long pedigree, the Snow Bee brand today offers the very best equipment modern technology can provide. Started in Europe, Snow Bee is now providing quality fly fishing gear in the USA. Waders, clothing, rods, reels, fly lines, bags, and innovative new accessories. Enjoy your sport and leisure time more than ever. The affordable value of Snow Bee makes it available to everyone. Go to snowbee-usa.com.
Welcome back to Fish Talk Hunt Radio with John Hennigan.
Welcome to Fish Hunt Talk Radio. This is John Hennigan, and we still have our host, Frank Selby, on the line. And we've got a great guy from Florida who's going to tell us all about all the reasons you might want to go to his part of the world. So we have Brandon on the line, and Brandon, why don't you do us a favor? And Frank, I think you know Brandon, so you can help out more than I can. But Brandon, tell us where you are and what you do.
All right, I'm located in Big Pine Key, Florida. That's kind of the heart of the Florida Keys, and I guide for tarpon, permit, bonefish, barracuda, and sharks. Mm-hmm. I do fly fishing and light tackle charters. Well,
now you're talking Frank's language, but, to tell you the truth, I live in California, and half of those things I wouldn't know one if I saw one. But
you would. You just lie a lot.
Yeah. Well, all right. I've seen pictures. I've never caught a tarpon, and they're an interesting fish because they can be very sedentary. They kind of hang around the docks and swim around like a catfish. But man, you put a hook in their mouth, and it's a whole different thing. And of course, it's a sport fish. Nobody ever kills tarpon. I don't know if you'd want to, but they will, pound for pound, and they get pretty big. They'll give you a struggle. And yeah. I suspect that Frank has caught some.
Well, we got a few. But I did want to ask him when was the best time to go tarpon fishing down there.
We have truly a year-round tarpon fishery here. I would say our peak times are from mid-April, and then that stretches all the way to the 1st of October. We have phenomenal tarpon fishing all summer and the first part of the fall. And on some days in September, we hook more fish than we do in May or June. Mm-hmm. You have a nice long 6-month window that you can come out and reliably catch tarpon.
I just had 2 guys in the store, and they says, well, tell him to right away to give out his website so they can give you an email.
Oh, definitely. My website is flyfishingthefloridakeys.com, all spelled out.
Mm-hmm. And there's a little bit of fishing going on down there, isn't there? That's got to be, yeah. In all of the world, the Keys probably have to be one of the most prolific fisheries and fishermen that I can't think of another place.
Well, we have a really unique situation in the Keys. We have all of our backcountry right out the back door, and then if you go anywhere from 4 to 10 miles out front on the ocean side, you're in the Gulf Stream, and you can catch marlin, wahoo, mahi-mahi. So you can literally catch bonefish in the morning and mahi in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Kind of a unique thing.
That's my kind of fishing.
Okay.
And what color flies do you use the most down there? Pearl or blue and white? What?
When we're targeting tarpon, I particularly like black and purple. In some of the old sandbars, there's Black Death, which is a black and red pattern. And then if I'm fishing over a lighter bottom, I'll use yellow or chartreuse.
Well, catching a tarpon on a fly is, one of those things to a lot of people, a real experience. But tell us what kind of gear it takes to catch one on the fly.
Usually we're using anywhere between a 10-weight and a 12-weight fly rod. Oh. Then, we use a nice reel with a smooth drag, and you want to have 300 yards of backing, because mm-hmm. a big one's going to take at least 200 on its first run.
So you use microfiber?
Yeah, we usually use Dacron backing, mm-hmm. So we can pack more on the spool. But mm-hmm. I always keep an arsenal of fly rods on the boat every day, so if someone didn't have a 10 or a 12 weight, they're always more than welcome to use my equipment.
Mm-hmm. Well, even that's for what happens if you get a 75 or 100 pound tarpon? It doesn't sound like that 12 weight's going to even do it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We land surprisingly big fish, even on 10 weight.
Mm-hmm.
I typically use T-bore reels. They're made right here in Florida, and they've been in business for over 30 years, and they really stand up well, even to large game fish like tarpon and sailfish.
And what's your rates for tarpon fishing for 2 people?
Okay, so for 2 people on all my tarpon charters, I do a minimum of 6 hours, and so it's $550 for a 6-hour trip or $650 for an 8-hour trip.
Well, that's reasonable. Very reasonable.
And that's for 2 people?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite to fish for out of all the fish?
I'm particularly fond of permit fishing. I love to hate them. They're extremely wary. They're kind of the holy grail on fly. But you remember every single one you catch. They're difficult to catch, but when you do, it's equivalent to winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How many have you hooked on their sides when they're swimming in shallow water?
I've never hooked one on its side, that's for sure. But I've definitely seen them swim over shallow bars on their sides, almost like a flounder.
The first one I ever got, it was coming across the bar on its side, and it just turned almost upside down to grab the fly. Wow. That was the most exciting fish I have ever caught in my life, barring none. Just what happened.
Approximate size on that, Frank?
It was only about 15 pounds, but you shouldn't have asked me that, because I should have lied, but I don't.
Yeah.
But they are a lot of fun.
One particularly neat thing about our permit fishery down here is our permit are bigger on average than anywhere else in the world. Our average fish is 20 pounds. I recently had one catch one that was pushing 40 pounds. They're nice big fish.
Yeah. That's a nice size to fight on a 12 weight. I don't think I would want to do it on a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, definitely. That big one took about 45 minutes to get into the boat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're getting up against the time a little bit. I'd like to find out how to get in touch with you. I think you gave your email out, but let's do that one more time. Your website.
Yeah, my website is flyfishingthefloridakeys.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can also email me at floridakeysflyfishing@gmail.com. Or if you want to do the old-fashioned phone method, my phone number is 305-340-9863.
One more time.
305-340-9863.
Okay, and remember, you can go to Fish Hunt Talk Radio anytime and listen to the show as many times as you want if you didn't write that down, so go ahead and do that. Now, to get to you, where do you fly into Miami, or how do you get there?
Typically, people will either fly into Miami, rent a car, and drive down. It takes about 2 hours, or you can fly directly into Key West.
Oh.
And then it only takes about 20 minutes.
And are you on an island?
Yes, on Big Pine Key. We're about, I think it's 28 miles from Key West proper.
Okay. All right. Well, I certainly envy you, especially this time of the year, but I guess it's gotten all the way down to like the 50s or 60s, hasn't it? But we're going to have to let you go, Brandon. We appreciate you joining us and giving us some lessons, especially on the tarpon. You are listening to Fish Hunt Talk Radio. Go to our website and listen to as many times you want, and we'll talk to you just in a couple of minutes.
The East Cape of Baja, Mexico is world famous for sport fishing. Dorado, tuna, wahoo, marlin, sailfish, roosterfish, and pargo. The Van Wormer Resorts make dreams come true at a price all can afford. Hotel Palmas de Cortez, Playa del Sol, and Hotel Punta Colorado have the biggest and best sport fishing fleet in all of Mexico. Call toll-free to 877-777-TUNA to find out how affordable world-class fishing can be. The finest resorts and the best boats in East Cape. Call 877-777-TUNA.
Vagabundos Del Mar Boat and Travel Club has 42 years experience introducing RVers to the joys of Mexico. Specializing in Baja, Vagabundos leads caravans and sponsors fishing tournaments, trailer boat cruises, and weekend getaways in Mexico and the West. Vagabundos Del Mar also saves its 10,000 members tons of money on low-cost auto insurance. Stay up to date on Mexican travel with the printed newsletter online at vagabundos.com or call 800-474-BAJA.
The road stretches for miles in front of you, and with the Ram 1500, you'll be able to reach mile after open mile. It gets a best-in-class 25 miles per gallon highway, so your destination won't just be determined by your gas gauge, but by your gauge for achievement. And the Ram 1500 is the first ever back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Guts, glory, Ram. See your local Ram dealer today for great deals. EPA estimated 25 mpg highway based on V6 4x2.
With a long pedigree, the Snow Bee brand today offers the very best equipment modern technology can provide. Started in Europe, Snow Bee is now providing quality fly fishing gear in the USA. Waders, clothing, rods, reels, fly lines, bags, and innovative new accessories. Enjoy your sport and leisure time more than ever. The affordable value of Snow Bee makes it available to everyone. Go to snowbee-usa.com.
Welcome back to Fish Talk Hunt Radio with John Hennigan.
This is John Hennigan, and of course our host Frank Selby, and we have a very special guest. I consider him a young man, maybe he doesn't. We have Brandon. Then Brandon, I guess, and his brother came up with this great idea. But Frank, let me have you introduce Brandon.
Brandon is Thrasher Boat Company, and I've known him since he started. And we have a lot of fun fishing together, but he also makes mid-way boats that's comfortably priced for the average guy. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, no, that's right. It's great to be talking with you guys. We make our Thresher boats, and we're targeting basically quality, affordable fishing boats to get normal guys like you and I out there on the water and on the fish.
Well, Brandon, I
was never normal, but I'll take that.
Yeah, right. No, good. Yeah. Anyway, Brandon, a couple of questions. First of all, a year or so ago, somebody says, I want to buy, a seaworthy fishing boat, and I've got about $50,000 to spend. What do you recommend? And I told him, lots of luck, because boats are expensive. Of course, expense is relative, but if you're looking for a seaworthy quality boat, some of the names, Parker and some of the major brands. I'm sorry?
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. But no, yeah, to answer your question, that was really the concept behind Thresher boats. There was a huge gap that we noticed in the used boat market and then, the new boat market. So when we came up with the concept back in 2012, 2013, the idea was, to use some of our connections from the past. My father had always been in the boat industry, and see if we could kind of close that gap in the market and offer, a boat in between that price range from buying a used boat and the heavy high cost of a new boat. And, we're really happy with what we were able to do. Right now, our Thresher 22 is fully loaded. Powered with a 150 Honda or Mercury outboard with, really nice Simrad electronics and stuff. You're out the door, $40,000, where anything else right now in that range, that's a trailer and everything, is 50, 60, 70 plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about the new one? You're just getting ready for the shows.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, Frank. We were really proud to announce that we have a new 22-foot pilot house that we're going to be rolling out at the Fred Hall shows in March coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just a fantastic boat. It's on our 22 hull that's been tried and true. What's unique about our boats is they have a real aggressive bow and front end with a nice Carolina flare. So, they're already a nice dry riding boat, taking the water out and away of the boat. But then add that pilot house on, and it's just a game changer. You're not limited by any conditions out there on the water. And with that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just a thought came to me. At a Hall show some years ago, I was down there, and Harold Davis, he's quit building boats and retired, but he had a fairly small operation, but he built a very high-quality boat. And I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not. But anyway, a friend of mine was down there watching the booth for him. The guy goes up and he goes, "How much is that boat?" And he said, "It's free." And he goes, "What are you talking about? It's free?" He says, "Well, you buy this boat today, and 3 years from now you'll be able to sell it what you paid for it. It's free."
Yeah.
And if you get a quality like that, especially at that price, more than likely, I don't know if you've been around long enough to see what your resale value is, but you're not really going to lose any money on it.
Yeah, no, all really great points, and that that brings me into a couple of points that I wanted to make. Is our pilot house. Now you're going to be able to get under 50 grand, which is just, a steal. You're going to be able to fish that long and hard and, not have to worry about a loss of value on it. We're also, what's really exciting is we're recently NMMA certified. For listeners that don't know, that's the National Marine Manufacturers Association. And that's something huge. It's really ensuring the quality of the boat. Not all the manufacturers are NMMA approved, and that's just going through and making sure the boats are built to the best quality and adhering to all the ABYC standards. So we're really proud to announce that the 2019 models moving forward are all NMMA approved. And, with that, we're also now listed in the NADA guidelines, which is huge for resale value. Anyone could go look up the value of the boats through the NADA guidelines, and that's what the lenders use kind of as a tool.
It's like a blue book.
Brandon, one quick question. When are you going to take me out on the newest one?
Yeah, that's right.
After the show?
That's it. We need to all get together, and after these shows, I'll get you guys out on one of the pilot houses, and we can come back and talk about how many fish we caught.
There you go.
Hey, every time we go together, even when we were doing the cancer thing.
Yeah.
No,
There,
Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Frank, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you broke up for a second.
Oh.
But anyway, Brendan.
No, we always have a blast out there, Frank. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever forget when you fly. That was something else, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the phones are glitching a little bit. But Brandon,
Yeah.
whose idea was it? You and your brother went together, and it was kind of a mutual decision to say, "What the heck? Let's do it."
It was actually kind of my brainchild back, in 2012, 2013. I just kind of realized that huge gap in the market of, I was always the guy that was able to afford, a very modestly priced boat, with my friends and stuff. And what we realized is buying into it, you're buying into a bunch of headaches, spaghetti wiring, and it's just, at the end of the day, you look at yourself and you say, shoot, I could have bought a new boat and probably saved money, with all the headaches.
Yeah.
So I started piecing it together. Gave a lot of guidance, and we got that going, about 2014, and then my brother came in shortly after that, and now he works with me there, and we couldn't be happier.
Well, a couple of things from what I understand. First of all, you use a double fiberglass foam-filled hull, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're doing a really nice laid hull, and
quiet and smooth.
It's all, nice and smooth, and what's nice is we're using a composite stringer system, so you're never going to have to worry about your stringer system rotting or failing. And then, obviously we're using all ABYC compliant, fixtures, hardware, pretty much everything. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's all just, proven good quality product that's going into the boat.
One other thing I noticed also, one of the largest expenses, I mean, if I had a big fancy new boat, I couldn't afford to take it out anyway. But I understand it's a fast boat, but it's extremely fuel efficient.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, we power the boats, with the outboards, and we're putting Courier Honda Green outboards on the boat, and the 150 horsepower is a great pair for the 22-foot models right now. You could go up, a little higher if you'd like, or even go less if you're doing primarily freshwater. But yeah, the fuel economy. I mean, you're getting 4 gallons per hour, running at a cruising speed of about 21 knots. And I mean, with the 80-gallon fuel tank, you got over a 300 and something mile range. So it's really allowing our guys to get out there, fish the island, fish all weekend if they want, come back and fill up, back home on the trailer to really save some money in fuel.
Oh, that's right. You don't have to pay the marina prices. Yeah.
Hey, Brian, one more quick question. Throw out your website and tell them what kind of little extra deal you're going to give them if they mention our radio show.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, for the upcoming shows, let us know you heard us on the Fish Talk radio show, and right now we're going to offer $1,000 off the sticker price on any one of our 22 center consoles, the 2019 models, and then off our Pilot House models. So that's the best deals that we do all year. We're also throwing in a free extended 5-year warranty on the Mercury outboards. Typically, they come with 3. And so there's some savings there, but yeah, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. Well,
one more quick thing. How about giving us your website so people can get to you and come on later if they don't get it all and listen to it again and again?
Yeah, absolutely. You could stop at www.thresherboats with
and spell that.
Boats.
Is it TH?
Yeah, THRESHER BOATS, thresherboats.com.
All right, that sounds easy.
You can view the product there and all that good stuff. And we also do send the boats, out of state.
Okay. Good idea.
Yeah, we got a lot of customers.
I'm not going to say this, but at least registered out of state. But anyway, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to have to go, Brandon. And it's such a pleasure to hear about a success story from a young entrepreneur. Yeah, it's a tough business, so appreciate that. All right, you guys, you are listening to Fish Hunt Talk Radio. Go to our website anytime and listen to all about it, and we'll be back with you directly.
The Soft Science footbed absorbs the shock of pounding waves, engine vibration, and even rocky terrain. Soft Science shoes are roomy and relaxed, and they drain and dry quickly. Check out the Soft Science Fin fishing shoes and boots and the Fin H2O for kayaking and canoeing. They're lightweight, slip-resistant, and won't mark your deck. See the new styles for men and women and get your pair on at softscience.com.
It's time for you to take a real fun adventure. Join a hosted fishing adventure to Alaska or Baja with the staff of Fish Talk Radio. Real Fun Adventures can book you on any adventure you desire. Bring your fishing friends or meet new ones. Fish Talk Radio gets the best deals from our sponsors to give you the best possible price. Real Fun trips are inclusive, easy, no-worry packages to the most popular fish grounds. Trips start around $600. Go to REELfunadventures.com.
Alaskan RV Butler. Guiding, fishing, hiking, sightseeing, adventure. The Alaskan RV Butler. Like a cruise on wheels in the comfort of an RV. View the wonders of Alaskan interior, streams, ocean, and wildlife. Or fish for the big one, all while pampered by Mike, the Alaskan RV Butler. Mike's inclusive tours serve butter-drenched shellfish and mouth-watering steaks. Mike is your personal chef, chauffeur, guide, and planner. And for the real Alaska, contact Mike RV Butler at gmail.com. That's Mike RV Butler at gmail.com.
Lounge ride blue.
Welcome back to Fish Talk Hunt Radio with John Hennigan.
This is John Hennigan, and we have our host Frank Selby with us. And I would like to consider Jason a very good friend of mine. Very interesting, very talented guy. And he... if you don't mind, let me give you a little bit of background. He's done a lot of things, been everywhere. He does hosted, and not always hosted, but he does fishing charters, frequently to Belize, and one of his favorite places is El Salto, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Apparently the best bass lake in the world. But Jason he operated the bass pond up at a very, very high-end guest ranch up in our area. And, he develops a lot of, clientele that were, let's say, well-heeled. And one of his clients, or his good friend, had just bought a 200-acre ranch with 60 acres of grapes. Is that about right?
Close enough, yeah.
Okay. And he goes to Jason, and he goes, hey, I just bought the Thompson Ranch. I want you to operate it for me. And Jason goes, I don't know anything about growing grapes. And The guy says, well, you're going to learn. And guess what? He's done a tremendous job. But, as part of the compensation, it just happened to be a bass pond on the property. And, it's all private land, and, you get to practice that. But Jason wanted to build a trout pond. So he did. And then that, was I fished there, and it's incredible. Well, he decided that one wasn't big enough. So he wanted to build another one, which is about approximately 2 acres.
Yeah, about an acre and a half, 30 feet deep.
Yeah, and put this new trout pond in, which he just recently finished, and he spent, I don't know if it was his money, but they spent a ton of money for a truckload of the Nebraska tailwalkers. While we're off the air, you'd mentioned that you took a 6-year-old, friend fishing. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, we went out early, and I've deemed this trout lake fly fishing only, so you've got to pick up a fly rod to fish this lake. And I've been teaching this little 6-year-old how to cast, and one of his first casts, he locked into an 8-pounder, and then we ended up catching about a 13-pounder.
Wow, 6-year-old kid on a fly rod with a 13-pound trout.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do.
Gosh, I wouldn't know what to do. But, I think the bad news, that poor kid, he'll probably never catch a 13-pound trout on a fly rod again.
No, spoiled forever.
Yeah. But,
you don't know. He might come back next year and catch a 20-pounder at 7.
Yeah, he might. I think he actually told me he's coming back in a week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But anyway, tell us real quickly before we get into something else about Breakwater Tours.
So it's basically a fishing travel company. We send our clients down to Lake El Salto. We send our clients down to Belize to fish the flats for tarpon and permit and bonefish. And the way I've designed the company is basically I hold your hand through these trips. There's no cost to you. The resorts pay me a commission. And so you pay the same as you would if you book direct, but you get my help with gear and basically guidance of how to take these amazing fly fishing adventures all over the world. And I've also got some local opportunity around here in the Santa Barbara area, like you were talking about with the Trout Lake, Bass Pond, and I've got guides running trips down on the beaches of Santa Barbara for halibut and, and all kinds of fun stuff.
And and you go Lake Kachuma, which isn't, they got a lot of fish in them now. They've actually got some rain and got some water in it now too. But if you're interested in going on the trip of a lifetime, but you want to do it every year. Talk to Jason.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, but he does a tremendous job, and the name of that again is Breakwater Tours, correct?
You got it.
So
and that's my website too, www.breakwatertours.com.
Yeah, and you'll find out, and it's again, these are world class. Tell us just in about 30 seconds about El Salto. Not everybody's heard of it.
Well, like you said, best bass fishing lake in the world. I've been going there for over 20 years with my clients. I take groups of down there from 12 to 24 guys. We fish for 3.5 days, and it's not uncommon to do a 80, 100, 120 fish day with half of them 6, 7, 8 pounds. I mean, the lake is just phenomenal.
That's per person.
Per person, yeah. We fish 2 guys they have really nice boats. The accommodations are amazing. And then we end up going down to Mazatlan for a day or 2 afterwards, taking some of the local fun down there.
Well, from what I understand, El Salto is kind of more in central Mexico, but it's a very large lake, and it's the reason they raise tilapia. And bass like tilapia, and it gets so little pressure. These bass proliferate and get so big that it's got to be one of the most incredible bass fisheries in the world.
Yeah, they commercially fish it for tilapia, so they're feeding them and really helping the population to stay strong in there. They limit how many they take, so there's plenty of food for these bass, and there's just something about that lake. These bass are just huge. It's so hard.
Yeah.
We don't use any less than 20-pound tests down there, and they still, break that on a regular basis. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. And I work with Anglers Inn, which is right there on the lake. Billy Chapman helped stock the lake back in the day, and he's just put together a pretty amazing lodge down there. Service is their focus. And it's just a really great place to go and
well,
on a fishing trip.
If you like to go bass fishing and you don't mind ruining it, because scratching out 2 or 3 in a day is just not going to be the same thing anymore. So get in touch with Jason at Breakwater Tours. Jason, I have a question for you. You built 2 ponds. And I thought that, a trout pond, all right, you just get the shovel out and you dig a hole and you put water in it. Seems simple enough to me. In a lot of places, you've got the irrigation ponds, and you've got people that want to put in a pond. They just kind of, get some equipment out and dig a hole. But apparently that's not quite the way it works. Could you kind of explain the process that you've had to go through?
Yeah, there is a lot to it. A lot of planning goes ahead. Permitting is a tricky thing too when the county gets involved. I wish it was as simple as just pulling a shovel out and digging a hole. But a lot of the infrastructure that goes into it has to be really thought through as far as drainage, overflow, what you're going to do with the water if you need to use it for something. We also built a 1/4-mile river on the property to house some of our trout. So I incorporated a recirculation system that pulls water from the bottom of the lake, sends it through this 1/4-mile river, which helps aerate it, and then pump it back into the lake. Mm-hmm. So I'm fully turning over the water every day, which really helps out too on the health of the fish on certain times of the year. So we plan out when we want to really heavily recirculate the water and when we want it to hold a nice thermocline. So all those things have to be considered. We also had to line the thing, which is quite a task when you're covering 2 acres of ground with a liner.
Yeah, and it's not just some visqueen or some plastic, but and again, it seemed like a good idea, but this is not a $5,000 or $10,000 idea.
No, you've got to have a pretty thick checkbook to build a lake. But, it's the more people I talk with in this area who want to do it, we encourage them. You got to get started. You hire a team to get through the permitting process. And really, the most expensive part is the dirt work. These heavy equipment's got to come in and move a lot of dirt. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest expense. And once you get through the dirt work, then you got to get the liner down, and then we also do an aeration system, so you need to pump bubbles in there to help the dissolved oxygen to stay high for these fish, especially if I want to sustain trout.
Right. Well, speaking of sustaining, will anything grow on top of that liner? Do you get any growth or habitat for the fish?
Yeah, and I actually created habitat. So I built benches underwater that we put different elements on these benches, rocks, all kinds of different things that really helped to create that ecosystem that you need. So once we were able to do that and get a lot of rock down there, I created gravel beds so that the fish can spawn on those beds. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of elements that have to be incorporated to the pond to help the whole ecosystem and create that natural environment for Mother Nature to do her work.
This is not fed by trout that come down the river. It's all a closed system, and you have to truck them in, and those aren't cheap either.
No, they're not.
especially when you send a truck to Nebraska to pick up those tailwalkers.
Yeah, these tailwalkers are such a neat fish. It's a Kamloops rainbow that are from Canada, and they are a sterile trout, but they can grow up to 1 inch a month.
Whoa.
So when we stocked them, a lot of the big ones we were hand stocking from the truck, and I held a 17-pounder that I put into our lake, and it was just an unbelievable fish. I didn't want to let it go, but I held it there for a little bit. It was over 1 foot wide.
Okay.
And they're just an amazing strain of trout.
Well, and of course Frank is, I'm sure he's getting real excited about throwing a line into that lake.
Let's do a live radio show from the lake while we're pulling on 15-pound rainbows.
We'll figure something out.
That sounds great.
Okay. Well, Jason, it's always fun to talk to you. And you're such a great guy, and you help me out so much. But if you want to get in touch with Jason, your chances of fishing that private pond are not high, but who knows? But you definitely want to get in touch with Jason Grupp at Breakwater Tours and some of the finest fishing, between El Salto and Belize. Man, you got every angler's dream.
Pretty fun.
Okay. All right. Well, continue to have fun, Jason, and we really appreciate you coming on. And go to the website and go to Sirius Radio at 10 o'clock on Saturday mornings on Channel 211. 9 o'clock, Pacific, 9 Pacific, at noon Eastern. Jason, again, thank you very much, and hope to talk to you and see you soon.
Yeah, come on fishing. Yeah, come on fishing.
A few years ago, a sailor set out to design a boat shoe that was comfortable and stable, non-skid, and wouldn't mark the decks. Today, these incredibly comfortable shoes are worn by anglers, boaters, professional guides, and charter captains. Go to softscience.com to see more. Soft Science shoes and boots are lightweight and shock absorbent with just the right level of support. Several styles come in all sizes. Enjoy the Soft Science shoe in the water and out. Check them out at softscience.com.
Used by fishermen who know where to get the best fishing gear around, AFTCO makes the highest quality fishing rod components worldwide. If it says AFTCO, you know you have a quality rod. Guy Harvey Clothing, the best outdoor clothing line anywhere, is also available through AFTCO. Longest lasting, functional, and best looking clothing you'll be proud to wear. Only the very best materials and workmanship. As soon as you put it on, you'll know the difference. Look for AFTCO at quality retailers or go to aftco.com. Great news! You can now watch Grizz's shows wherever you are, whenever you want, on all your mobile devices. Download the Grizz Channel app today. Enjoy an adventure during that boring wait at the doctor's office. Or while you're sitting at the airport waiting for your next flight. Just go to your phone, tablet, or even Kindle App Store or iTunes and download it today. And when you get home, you can watch the Grizz on your big screen on Roku. Catch the Grizz next adventure today.
Welcome back to Fish Talk Hunt Radio with John Hennigan.
This is John Hennigan, and of course our host Frank Selby. And we have on the line with us our good friend Frank Burr, who is on the road again. It's that time of the year for the shows that are happening. And Frank, where are you right now?
This weekend, we're at the fly fishing show in Edison, New Jersey.
Yeah, okay. Well, that would be, hope you're wearing warm clothes.
Oh, definitely. I'm wearing our Nivalis down jacket, which is keeping me nice and warm.
What is that?
It's a down jacket that we came out with last year. It's one of our hottest sellers. It's a 700 fill power down jacket with a waterproof exterior on it.
Yeah, it keeps you warm and dry.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, It was snowing all weekend, all last weekend in Boston. We were at that show.
All right.
And it kept nice and dry and warm.
So you're probably selling a few of those right now. Perfect.
Quite a few.
All righty.
Hey, Frank, don't sell the one you're wearing.
Yeah.
I won't. I've had it for a year, and I'm not giving it away. No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And, Frank, again, we talked to it's with Snowbee, Snowbee. And, it's kind of a funny name, but it's real easy to remember. One of these days you'll have to explain to me how that name came about. But it is a bit unusual, but it's easy to remember. Just picture a bee in the snow, Snowbee.
That's right. Hard-working bees.
Hard-working bees. Yeah, they'd have to be hard-working to find flowers in the snow. But anyway, they've got a great product line starting in Europe. I guess you started in England, didn't you?
Yeah, 40 years ago in England, and then opened the U.S. division in L.A. last year, or back in June of 2017.
Wow, and it's working.
It is, yeah.
Right.
It's starting to get pretty well known here, and a lot of people coming up and saying they've heard of us.
Yeah, well, of course they listen to the radio, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing about Snowbee is, I'm really impressed with the quality, and more importantly, is the value. I mean, price is one thing, but it doesn't make any difference what you pay for something if it doesn't do what you bought it for. But the value of quality equipment, nobody can touch you as what the value and the cost is on your products.
I like to think so. We've got a good quality product, and our slogan is making fly fishing affordable for anyone.
Yes, and it means anyone. I mean, if you got a passion for fishing and you got a paper route, there's no problem.
That's right.
Or pick up some plastic containers or something, cash them in, and get yourself set up.
Exactly. We can get you set up very inexpensively with good quality equipment.
I know. Well, I've got two of those kits you put together at an unbelievable price, less than $150, and you're completely ready to go. And I don't want to do something I shouldn't do, but if anybody wants to buy that product and let us know that they heard about it on Fish Talk Radio, and let us know about it. I suspect Frank, who is a premier fly maker, might send you a couple of flies. What do you think, Frank?
Sure, absolutely.
No. I mean Frank Selby.
No.
he has his own store, makes his own flies for people all over the world. Come to him because he makes flies for anywhere for anybody. So anyway, get yourself set up with that, and I'll twist Frank Selby's arm and have him or one of his elves put together a couple of flies for you.
That would be great.
Frank didn't say a word, did he?
No, I did not. But, I always go if somebody says something, I try to do it.
There you go. Okay. Well, we're about out of time. Matter of fact, we're just about out of time. So, Frank Burr, thank you. Enjoy the show. Have a great time. Keep that jacket on, and we'll be talking to you soon. And that's snowbee.com. It's real easy.
With a dash in between the Snowbee and...
Oh, okay. It's Snowbee-USA, right?
That's it.
Okay. All righty. Thanks. All right. You are listening to Fish on Talk Radio. Go to the website,